baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. We are back. You can blame it all on me. I was out for 1 week, and Adam and Joel said, we give up. And then we came back the next week, and I said, nope, I got a conflict. Joel's got a conflict. And then we came back the next week, and we said, Joel, we don't want you on the show anymore. You're being replaced with Alexander Kozina on a 1 week trial basis. And we'll see how that goes. So welcome back, folks, to Respawn Aim Fire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast brought to you by And we've got brought to you by Adam Gumbert, one of our regular co-hosts. How are you, Adam?
Adam's our sponsor now? Whoa.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Adam. Buy the product. Yummy, yummy.
Adam is our sponsor in the AA sense.
What's the delicious product that we're sponsoring today?
You go buy a can of Adam. Good.
Ooh, like Adam from BioShock? Like,
just go buy it.
Like,
don't ask what's in
necks.
it.
I was thinking like a can, like a tin can that contains a single atom. It's so small, you can't even see it, but it's in there somewhere.
It's like that Futurama episode from 20 years ago where they were buying Slurm. Don't ask what it is. Just drink the Slurm.
Yummy. That other voice you heard is our special guest. Just couldn't get enough of us. Stayed away far too long. Needed a recharge. Welcome back, Alexander Kozina, Kozibear Kozina. How are you, Alex?
What's up? It's the timing of the release of this episode is very fortuitous because literally days ago, our non-Patreon members, just people out in the public, got a taste of my first return to the podcast in quite some time on the episode of After Dark that we recorded, where I talked about cannoli and a piss-bad conspiracy. You'll have to go back and listen to that episode to understand what all that was about. And yeah, it was supposed to be that we had been planning to have me on a proper video game episode of the podcast for quite some time. But because of just a whole bunch of, scheduling issues, as you alluded to earlier, it only worked out that I was finally able to come back on this particular episode. So you were getting a double dose of Kozi in the span of just a few days. So you should definitely cherish that because I don't know when I'm going to be back.
Cherish it indeed. I have breaking news before we get into anything else.
Uh-oh.
From IGN.com. Written by Virginia Glaze. Moviegoers evacuate Spider-Man Brand New Day screening after viewer lets rotten fart rip.
I saw that while I was walking cannoli.
Yes. Reports state that halfway through the Marvel movie, one attendee just couldn't hold it in anymore, releasing a rotten smell that was so foul it prompted security to evacuate the audience. Despite the audience's mass exodus, the theater didn't pause or stop the screening, which continued until the credits rolled. But by that point, most Spidey fans had decided to leave and try their luck another day. Wild.
Who's the stinkiest Spider-Man villain?
Ooh, I imagine Paul Giamatti gets kind of smelly in that rhino suit.
That's true.
Ooh,
he looks gross.
Yeah.
You know what? I've not seen Spider-Man Brand New Day yet, but I bet that must be viral marketing for the return of Paul Giamatti in that movie. I bet he returns halfway through.
They have seen it. And I don't want to burst your bubble
to go off.
But no, Paul Giamatti does not reprise his role.
Damn, he's not back?
As the rhino, no.
Unfortunately. Damn it.
Was that Tom Holland Spider-Man or was that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
No, that was Garfield.
That was Garfield.
Was that Garfield the cat Spider-Man? Spider-Cat?
Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
He hates Mondays. Loves lasagna.
Folks, we are recording this on Monday evenings. Right now, it is also a Monday evening, and we do this, sometime between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then you can catch us on demand on YouTube and podcast services on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. when the edited version goes live, and you miss all the things we had to cut out, all the shocking visual things that got us banned from Twitch, all of the wildly racist things that all of us didn't say individually, but if you played all backwards and cut out every third word, then suddenly it's this manifesto that we all got radicalized on Discord and became MAGA, I guess. Weird shit that we have to cut out all the time. Oh, yeah,
Is it a mistake that I came back to this podcast?
Yeah.
Totally fine? Totally legal?
You technically are keeping us from being MAGA. Well, that and our values are keeping us from being MAGA. But because you're Canadian, it kind of it's the drop of
out,
oil
basically.
in the water or the water in the oil. I don't know.
I'm your scapegoat. When people accuse this podcast of being MAGA, we're like, no, we have a friend from Canada. Look, he's on this episode.
Exactly right. We have I promise you we have a Canadian friend is the new, I promise you my best friend is black. That's the excuse that exonerates you from everything.
I would have voted for Obama 3 times.
Folks, we have a couple of housekeeping things. One, as Kozi alluded to, you have the option to become a patron over at patreon.com/easy. Why was I going to promote Easy Allies? Patreon.com/Respawning Fire. It has been almost a month since I've been on this show. So you can go there and get early access to an upcoming to-be-recorded episode of our Patreon exclusive for a month episode of general shenanigans and laughter and chatting. As you heard, there is a episode that went live for everybody. So if you were listening to it in July, you had special treatment. If you were listening to it August 1st or later, you were a peon. But you also got to figure out how a squirrel, I spoiled it, how something stole a thing that got peed on. If I thought about it, I could go back and connect peon and peed on a little smoother there.
Well, here's the thing. I'll make the connection. All right. You take the word peon. You're only a few letters away from being a Patreon. You add a T in there. You add an R in there. You add one more letter in there that I'm forgetting about. You become a Patreon supporter. So if you feel like you're missing those few letters in your life, join us on Patreon. Just give us like $1 a month or even slightly more, and you'll get those missing letters you've been missing all your life.
Perfect. You know, if you take peon and you add one man named Ed to it, you get peed on. There it
Just
is.
like your piss mat.
Just like the piss mat that mysterious animal loved stealing off of my balcony. Folks, we've got one main quest that we want to start with today. We'll get back into what we've been playing a little bit later, and then we've got a game on game show that is sure to make you all just like cheer with glee. So let's start with our main quest today. Sony doubles down. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC, which I only today, reading this, realized is I assume European or at least British publication due to all of the S's.
So hold on a second
here.
Hold on a sec. Before we get into this story, you're saying that Sony is doubling down. Are you saying that they're doubling down on high quality AAA games?
No, I am saying Sony is doubling down on the double down.
No,
and
wait,
they'll
wait,
start
wait.
selling physical chicken sandwiches with chicken as the bun.
No. Oh, really? Yeah. It's that? Oh, that's great. I thought you were going to say that they were going to double down on getting rid of physical games, but I'm glad that it's not that.
No, you will go buy a PS5 disc or a box at the store, and it will come with a KFC Double Down inside instead of your game.
That's fucking awesome. Hell yeah. Tell me all about this.
To be honest, it's more of a value. The KFC Double Down, go get that instead of Knack 2. Come on. Sony has broken its silence on the backlash to its decision to stop making PlayStation discs. To catch you up, I know it's been a while. If this is your only source of news, Sony is no longer manufacturing discs starting at the beginning of 2028, and people have been fucking furious. Everything they post online, people have been commenting on it, whether it's related or not. You know, we keep games on discs. We want games on discs, etc., etc. During a Q&A, that's question and answer for the layperson, session following its Q1 2026 earnings announcement, Sony CFO, Chief Financial Officer Lin Tao has addressed the situation, stating, quote, "There are various reasons why we made this decision, the biggest being that digitalization of contents overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. It's not just for PlayStation, but for all kinds of content. Digitalization is progressing. And so when we think about the future, we put in a lot of thought and time, and we cautiously considered this, and we came to this conclusion, and we are going to cautiously move this forward." Apparently, Sony has been discussing its digital-only PlayStation's plans with retailers around the world. This is a second article here with a couple of quotes. "For the last 30 years, we've been selling PlayStation. We have been selling PlayStation, and retail partners have always been important to us," said Lin Tao via Sony's translator. Quote, "In North America, this has already happened, but without discs in the package, there's a code included, and that's how they sell in North America. There are regional characteristics for each regional partner, so we'll try to have thorough dialogue so that we can end up in a win-win situation." Boys.
Much has already been said about this online. I'll contribute something to this discussion that I definitely know I'm not the only person who has brought up this point, but I feel like I've seen it very seldomly discussed. This sucks for local libraries. I'm gonna just take a moment right here. I only wanted to talk about this once we got to playtime, where we talk about what we've been playing, but I'm gonna time travel through the show to a later segment just for but a moment to say that I have actually been using my local libraries up here in Montreal, Canada, to play a lot of games from my backlog that I didn't previously get a chance to play over the past few months. And man, what a great service. It is a little unfortunate that, like, you know, this particular situation that I found myself in of, you know, renting games from the library doesn't solve the fact that, like, obviously I don't own any of these games. Alas, even in this plum situation I found myself, I don't have any ownership over these particular products, but it is great that I have this service that allows me to rent many games from yesteryear and some games that are relatively recently free of charge. And in this, you know, upcoming all digital future, I unfortunately won't have the opportunity to do so with many of Sony's upcoming first party titles. And that's too bad.
I wonder if there's a way very far in the future, I'm sure, that they can pivot to digital game distribution like they did for ebooks. I don't know if you in Canada use the Libby app like we do in the US, but that's a way that you can check out digital books from the library in the same way.
Maybe. I've never used Libby, so I'm not super familiar.
This is a thing that is, I'm in a place of privilege because this doesn't affect me. I've been buying digital for a bajillion years, but it was an inevitability. One thing that I can see the writing on the wall, it's not, of course, it's all a money thing. It's all a money grab. We don't want to manufacture these discs. It's expensive. We don't make the same profit on the physical discs as we do on the digital stuff. But here's the other thing. PlayStation 6, getting a lot of little rumors out there. Even official statements from Sony saying that they are looking to go beyond the living room. They can't sell you a PlayStation handheld that reads a Blu-ray disc. They can't sell you a subscription to stream your Blu-ray discs via the cloud. They can't sell you physical games because it doesn't allow you to buy all the things they want you to buy and subscribe to in the future. And so,
unless they bring back the UMD. Guys,
if only.
Bring it back.
If only.
Oh, man. I would love it. I wouldn't at all. I hated UMDs.
You know what makes less money than Blu-rays? UMDs.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's an inevitability. And while I personally, and a person who has great internet and who has a full digital library, and I'm embracing that, and I know there are lots of people who can't for various reasons, but I am very much looking forward to what that digital future unlocks for me. And in the true nature of America, fuck everyone else. So I'm just kidding. It sucks for you all if you do that. But when is the last time you all bought a physical game? I don't even know. Like he says, Lintao says in this, in North America, this has already happened. Without a disc in the package, there's a code included. That's how they sell it in North America. Is that the standard that happens now in stores? I haven't bought a physical game since
that's the standard with GTA 6. I think that's what she's referencing. They're like, look, GTA's doing it. Everyone in North America is doing it. I think if you go buy a physical disc, there are still discs in the cases most of the time.
I checked my shelf. I was going to say that the last physical game I bought was Pokemon Legends ZA, but then I remembered, no, there was a game that came out slightly later in 2024 that I also had to get for the Switch 2 called Metroid Prime 4. That really worked out for me. Yeah.
They replace it with a dumb cartridge. No disc.
Yeah.
You know what I find most interesting about this? Because yes, obviously they're like 82% of their customers buy digital. Yeah, I get it. They're not doing it to make money. The fun thing for me, not fun, but you'll notice how these companies react to online outrage and when they are soft in a position when they really don't give a shit. Because remember they were like, hey, we're shutting down the PS, what was it, 3 in the Vita store or the PS4 or whatever the stores were.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh no. And they're like, okay, we'll extend it for a year. And for this one, they were like, we don't give a shit. We're going to be cautious, but we're still going to do it. So that tells you whenever there's a thing that they could actually have some leniency on, another thing that they are sticking to this and they do not give a shit. Yeah. They're like, yeah, you quote unquote bullied us into extending a server for a year, but we are not going to keep doing this. We do not care what you have to say online. That does not actually matter. So it's just a funny thing to be like, see how bullying and corporation works. And when it doesn't work, which probably tells you how they really feel about the thing they're being bullied about.
Yep. All right. That's it for that story. Let's move on to playtime. We're talking about what we played this week. Playtime. I'm actually going to, because you talked about that, Adam, I'm going to jump off of that into a story about what I played a little bit. Because I have two things on here that are related. IE and DD. Those are two games that I played a lot on vacation. I took a vacation, which is why I wasn't here on the show.
For the kids at home that can't see our private document where we keep all this information stored, when Chad said IE, he specifically spelled it out in the doc, AYEEEEEEEE. Just wanted to specify, because I feel like from the way that you pronounce it, it might not be obvious that this one starts with an A, which I think is going to be important.
You're right. Let's talk first about DD. DD is Dissidia Final Fantasy. Boys, this is, I got real obsessed with Theater Rhythm a couple weeks ago, and I was like, all right, am I going to dip dick in a bunch of Final Fantasy games? And turns out, yes, I am. So
You're going to do-cock it.
I had this fondness for Dissidia Final Fantasy, which is a game that I played back on my PlayStation Portable a long time ago. And so I was like, you know what? The PSP store is going offline, or the Vita store is going offline very soon. Let me go get out my PlayStation Vita. I've already talked about, too, that my Odin 3 that I've ordered is coming sometime this month. So I'm using my Vita as a little training wheel for preparing for my Odin 3. And so I got it out. I'm like, let me download some games that I have back in my library and for the trip. And so I went to the Vita store, the PlayStation Network store on the Vita. I have a regular ass. Well, I have a hacked Vita that I hacked a long time ago, but I also have a regular black and white Vita that is not in arm's reach right now. And I was like, this one's the legit one. It's lightweight. It's really slim. I love it. So I'm going to take this one with me on the trip. And so let me just download some things that I own legally through the PlayStation Vita store. And I went to go search for some games. And would you believe it that this store for the PlayStation Vita that they are taking offline very soon, the search functionality is broken as shit. You literally cannot use anything that you type in search comes back with no results. Whether you own it, whether you don't, you could see it on the front page of the store, and as soon as you start typing some letters, it's like, oh, it doesn't exist.
Is this like a new development? Because like for the longest time, both the PS3 and the Vita stores have been a little bit busted.
I don't know, honestly. It's been a long time since I've tried to use those stores, so I can't remember. But conveniently enough, there is a purchased history section. So you can go and you can see all the purchase history that you have. But the purchase history is all chronological. And so it started way back at the earliest thing that I had bought that was eligible to be downloaded on the PlayStation Vita, along with it showed me all the PS3 games that I had bought and the PS4 games occasionally that worked their way in there, which you obviously can't download. But it would only load like 7 to 10 items at a time before you had to scroll and wait for it to pop the next 7 to 10, which was obnoxious.
Shot in the dark, was the game at the top of that list ABS Animals, AABS Animals?
It was not. I'm sorry.
That game, I have that game in my Vita library, and it has to have been like, either I got it because of the trophies at the time, or it was like a PlayStation, like, free monthly game as part of PlayStation Plus game, one of those things. Anyways.
So I scrolled a little bit.
ABS Animals.
I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I couldn't find Dissidia Final Fantasy. And then I realized, you know what? I have that on UMD. I had a UMD of Dissidia Final Fantasy that I played on my regular PSP, not my PSP Go, little digital only thing. So I have to go and buy it again. So I went to, instead of searching, I went to the like categorization of the store, and I went to, all Vita games or all PSP games by title alphabetically. Found Dissidia. It was $10, and I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll pay $10 for it. I paid the $10, and to download it was going to be like 500 years because the Wi-Fi on that thing is garbage. And then I said, but I want to also download some other stuff, and I'm not going to go through that purchase history list and spend And of course, every time you hit download on an item from your purchase history, it takes you all the way back to the beginning of the list, and you have to again scroll back through everything. So because they made the experience such a horrific experience, boys, I hacked my second Vita. And I don't know if you know this, when you hack a Vita, you download an app to it, which can all be done from the Vita. You just go to a website and it just hacks it. You just click a link and it hacks it for you. But it gives you an app that lets you download any Vita game, any PSP game, any DLC, any PlayStation 1 Classic, any PlayStation Minis, allegedly, all of course. You just click a button and it downloads it for you. And so I downloaded Dissidia Final Fantasy illegally after I bought it legally, allegedly. And
I mean, that makes it totally admissible. You can say, yo, I have the game legally.
Exactly.
So I can do whatever I want,
There are also a lot of homebrew things you can download. Like there's there's a famous like Ship of something Zelda of Ocarina of Time remake.
Ship of Theseus?
No, not Ship of Theseus. Ship of something with an H. And it's like a fan like mod that allows you to do some randomization and like make some quality of life improvements on it. Like you can download that to your Vita. They ported that. They ported a lot of Android-based games. Like if you want to play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, like the PS2 game that came out, and you want to play that, they released an Android version, which you can then get running on your Vita. You can get Bully, a couple of Rockstar games. It's wild. I didn't do most of those, allegedly. But I did that. I loaded up on Vita games.
I was looking in on this because I remember this being a news story from a couple of weeks ago, but they recently got Xbox Cloud Gaming on the Vita by way of piracy. Did you try that?
I downloaded the client for it. Never actually loaded it up and tried it. I also don't subscribe to Game Pass, so I don't have cloud gaming at the moment. So I downloaded a ton of shit. I filled up my... There's also a hack on there that lets you use a micro SD card with an adapter in the game slot instead of using the proprietary... not the Memory Stick Duo, but the PS Vita memory card that you had to buy. So I had 256 gigabytes instead of the 8 gigabytes that I had on the flash storage. So I loaded up with so many things. I also, on my vacation, brought my Analog Pocket with a couple of games. I brought my Nintendo Switch 2. I brought my Backbone controller so I could play some Guild Wars on my phone. And I didn't play any of that shit. And the only thing that I did play was Dissidia Final Fantasy the entire trip. On the plane, on the couch in Matt's basement, in Chicago. That's all I played. Just Dissidia Final Fantasy on all of that shit. And
I got a question about that game.
Yeah.
Because I heard about it, and I've never actually seen what it is, and I'm trying to look up gameplay, and I can't find anything that looks coherent. Is it a fighting game? Is it
It is a 3D fighting game, but it takes place in big like arenas, 3D based arenas, and the gameplay is a little bit like weird. Like just the mechanics of it, you have two types of moves. You have bravery moves, which are like building up a score, and then you have, I forget the name of them, but HP moves. So once you build up like 2,000 bravery, you use an HP move, and as long as that HP move connects, it does all of that damage from your bravery. So it does 2,000 damage to that person, and it takes down their life bar. And so every time you get hit by a bravery move, it also takes away some of your bravery and gives it to the enemy. So it's almost like that percentage base from Smash Bros. And, the one hit that knocks you out, like that kind of thing. So that's the mechanics of it, which is weird to adapt to. But you can also, you level up your characters as you go. You learn new skills. You get items that improve your thing. You get accessories. And there's a story mode that has, and it's the first 10 Final Fantasy games, and the protagonists of each of the 10 games all have their own little, 5-board story that they're facing some kind of demon demon is internal demon, from the big bad of their games. So, Tidus from Final Fantasy X is trying to do something with Jekt, his father, and they finally come together at the battle at the end of his thing. So Tidus fights his father, Cloud fights Sephiroth, etc., etc., and it's all in service of fighting chaos. It's this big battle between chaos. I forget the name of Good Mommy.
Yeah,
you have to kill chaos at the end. So
it's Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, the actual origin story.
You do play the Final Fantasy 1 thing too. So so you fight through all 10 of those things, and they're each campaign, quote unquote, of each of these people is a 5-board kind of, it looks like a board game, and you choose how many spots you want to move, and there are enemies on the board, and you choose which enemies you want to attack, and if you complete certain things, and you get more rewards at the end of them. And so you do that for all of those 10 things, and then that unlocks a very hard difficulty go kill chaos thing at the end. So it's an interesting way to sink some time into some stuff. It's a battle system that feels obtuse and weird, but eventually makes at least 70% sense in your brain. But it's mostly an excuse to see some admittedly really well done cutscenes with a bunch of pretty good voice acting for a PlayStation Portable game, things that had to fit on a tiny UMD. I was surprised to see the quality of some of the stuff that you get out of that.
This is going to sound like a very silly question, but I do mean it genuinely. But you can treat it as a silly question if you want to treat it as a silly question. we played Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin a few years ago as part of BARF. Has replaying through this game given you like a newfound appreciation for Final Fantasy Origin?
This game did not, but Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm did.
Whoa.
Yeah, made me want to go back and play it again. Even though I know that especially the inventory system in that game was the fucking worst inventory I've ever seen. You get 45 different weapons and accessories every time you beat a level, and trying to trash them all was terrible and figure out which one was better. Abhorrent. But that
welcome
game
to a Team Ninja game, my guy.
Yep. So that's the little transition there. You know, Vita, playing some Dissidia Final Fantasy, hacked it, downloaded a bunch of shit that I literally never touched. So there's that. IE is another game that I played on vacation. It's a lot of Astrobot. Y'all, Matt's kid is obsessed with Astrobot. And not only is he obsessed, but he's a fucking beast at Astrobot. You both have played Astrobot, right? Yeah, Adam, you've played it? Mm-hmm. No, you have not played it. Well, okay. At the end of Astrobot, you beat the final boss, and then it unlocks some challenge levels. And they're like really hard levels, each one focusing on a specific power-up that you got from the main game, using it in a bunch of different ways. That kid beat one of them by himself. He's not even 4 years old. He can barely wrap his fingers around a DualSense, and he beat one of those by himself. And then occasionally, most of the time, he'd be like, "Can you help me?" And he'd just give me the controller, and he just wants to watch. In fact, he watches 6-hour-long videos on YouTube of people just playing it. Like, this is all this kid eats, lives, like, breathes. It's all Astrobot. He wants an Astrobot birthday party this month. That's it, just Astrobot. And of course, nobody else fucking knows what Astrobot, especially kids his age, because none of them are playing PlayStation 5. They're all playing maybe Switch. So, I played a lot of Astrobot and a little bit of Mario Sunshine. Shout out to JK Games Podcast. They're doing a trial. Actually, tonight, I think, is the night that the second part of the trial is, and they're also playing Mario Sunshine. And Jerica has gotten a bunch of testimonials, including from Andy Cortez on Kind of Funny, of like why that game is terrible. So go listen to that. They're great friends.
Right side of history. Shout out to Jerica.
Yep. Yeah, I played just a little bit of Mario Sunshine with Bodhi, and it was frustrating as hell. Hated every second.
The thing that I'm most devastated about is they put out a new key art for that game that's like Mario and Peach relaxing on the beach, but excluded from that new piece of key art was Toadsworth, who was Princess Peach's attendant in Super Mario Sunshine, and he appeared in like a bunch of other games around that period of time. And now people are wondering if Nintendo is on a mission to erase Toadsworth from history. It's really something. I'm really concerned.
I've never heard of Toadsworth. That's wild.
Yeah, Toadsworth is weird. Sorry, just real quick. Toadsworth is weird because, like I said, he was in Super Mario Sunshine. He's in the opening cutscene. He's on the plane with Mario and Peach, and he's getting really excited about going to Isle Delfino. You can look it up. I'm not joking.
No, what's funny is that I just typed Toadsworth into Google, and the first thing is Toadsworth dead, Toadsworth erasure. Like, those are the first two search results.
There you go. They're on my side. Anyways, He showed up in a couple of other games from that period of time. And
Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Yeah, they discovered Toadsworth on the Epstein list, I guess, and they wanted to erase him.
All right, so what have I talked about? I talked about Didi, that's Dissidia. I talked about IE, that's Astrobot. What the fuck? Oh, TP is Theater Rhythm. Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm. I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm one trophy away from the platinum in that game, and it's just getting to level 20 in the Endless World, Endless Music thing. So I beat all the quests. Feeling pretty good about myself.
Real quick, how long is the platinum in that game, assuming that it doesn't take too much longer to get that final trophy?
I'm at 45 hours right now, according to my PlayStation Home dashboard. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's
also a game that I'm excited to, when I get my Odin 3, I'm excited to buy it again on Steam, especially now that I have the platinum and I don't have to worry about not getting trophies anymore. I'm going to buy it again on Steam and just have that handheld ready to go. It's going to be great. Healy. Oh, Healy is Halo. Halo Combat Evolved, or Campaign Evolved. Came out last week. Very excited to play that. We got together on our Tuesday Gears of Wednesday night and played through the first 4 missions in that game. That game is just such a blast. We played 4-player co-op, which is the first time that it's available. It's gorgeous. The cutscenes are amazing. I feel like they're doing extra, like they've added some things into the cutscenes too, not just the 3 missions, but I feel like there are things There absolutely are things that are new. Well, first of all, because there are hunters in this game and there weren't previously. And there's a cutscene where there are some hunters on the bridge and spaceship comes in and blasts them both. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Anyway, that game's great. They introduced some of the
There were
old
hunters in
weapons.
Halo 1, by the way. There
There
might
were?
not in that cutscene. Yeah, there were hunters in Halo 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We
Well,
have a
then-
surprise guest
Fucking who knows?
on this episode of Respawning Fire. Cannoli's come to visit. Say hi, Cannoli.
Cannoli.
Hi, everybody.
Little fluffy
Hi.
ears. What a cutie pootie. So yeah, we played the first 4 missions of that. Looking forward to all of us getting together again after Joel's not dead anymore and beating the other 6 missions. Goes very quickly. Well, maybe it's been a while since it's been, what, 30 years since I played that game? 25 years? I don't know. It's the
25,
25th
yeah.
anniversary? Yeah. Yeah, so maybe the last half of the game is a lot longer. Who knows?
Have you played the bonus missions yet?
No, we've not played the bonus missions. We started with the regular campaign because we've also learned in playing this, Dallas has never played Halo. And so we are introducing him to Halo. So yeah, we played through the regular campaign first. You know, this last game on my list, DWE, is a game that I promise you, I've not been kidnapped. These are my honest, unfiltered thoughts on this game.
Now, I'm trying to
There's
go
a
through
gun
my mind.
just
What's
off
a
camera.
game? What's a game that Chad hates that he would never want to talk about again?
I played about 8 hours of Roblox.
Oh,
Specifically, a game in Roblox called Dandy's World.
Dandy's
Okay.
World.
I didn't know that you hated Roblox. I didn't know that was such a
is
faux pas for
the
you.
trashiest, most garbage platform on planet Earth. I've always said it. That's been my mantra. I got it tattooed as a whale tail on my above my crack. Roblox is trash. I hate it. When my nephew texted me, I was in Rhode Island when he texted me this. He said, "Hey, we're gonna have you play a game on Roblox with us. So if you want to go ahead and create your account, that way you're ready to go." I was like, fuck. I love my nieces and nephews, so I gotta fucking play Roblox. I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna play it. So I got there. There's 6 nieces and nephews, all on their iPads. We're all sitting in the same room, and there's a game called Dandy's World. And if you look it up, it looks like a kind of polished, like art direction wise, it looks kind of like that show, the Amazing Digital Circus, which is like an indie animated show that also hit big with kids and got bought by Netflix. But it plays like a really polished friend slop game. And in fact, I would say it is better than Repo. It is better than Peak. It is better than what I have seen of many of those games. It is a game where you have to go level by level and you have to extract ichor. There's like inky blots from these machines. And every level that you have, you're going up an elevator. Every floor that you get off on, there is some kind of, at least one, oftentimes many villains, enemies on there that all will, if they see you, they chase after you and they eat you. Sometimes there are modifiers like the lights are out on this floor, or there are puddles that if you step on them on the floor, you get really slow. Or there are fake items on the ground that if you touch it, it turns into Roger. And Roger is this guy that's going to fucking eat you. And it has all of the like, I think about playing Repo and the kind of similar thing where there's this ominous monster walking around that will snipe you from a distance. Some of them are like really fast. Some of them will suck you up to the ceiling. It's that kind of shit, but it's really polished, and it's hero based. So you have a roster of characters that you can unlock, each with their own stats. Some of them are faster. Some of them are better at attracting attention. So you have like legitimate strategies and builds in these things. Like I had one of my niece and my nephew were, one of them was a character that could summon an aura around him that made you faster. And then the other one was one that attracted enemies, like 5 stars out of 5 attracting enemies. And so their strategy was, as soon as we get into the level, they go find the villains, have them chase her. She runs in circles around him while the rest of me and my nieces and nephews run out and actually do the tasks that we need to do and collect shit. And then as soon as we're all done, 30 seconds to get back to the elevator, and then boom, we move on to the next one. So they're like legitimate progression things. The more ichor you collect, you take that back, and that's a currency you can use to buy new unlockable characters to play as. There are there, like the whole week there was the names of these things are so stupid. The Tisha was the character that was the like featured character for the week. So you were more likely to run into what they call them twisted Tisha. So the twisted versions have the evil eyes and they're the enemies. But you could also play as Tisha, who's a tissue box, and she's a maid and she cleans up things. So her special power is she can clean up tissue or oil spills, or she makes people around her faster by cleaning up too. So Tisha was there, and there was like, hey, if you clean up this many oil spills, or if you use the feather duster to, restore 300 stamina over the course of the thing, then you unlock this gold skin for Tisha. So there's like that element to it. There's other progression things where like you have to get seen by the monsters, and every time you get seen by the monsters, you increase the amount of research that you have on them. And once you hit 100 research, then you unlock a trinket, which is like an equipable like accessory that gives you really great powers. And so I was so flabbergasted by the polish, the thought, the progression, how well everything worked, and just how fun this fucking game was. Screaming our asses off in the living room with, 6 kids and me all playing this game, roping my sister into it to play, my sister's partner as well. Like, it was such a freaking blast. And it also got to the moment where, like, the kids had to leave and go home, and I was like, you know what? I'm only one run. I just have to clean up 2 more Ichor Puddles as Tisha, and then I can, get this next thing. And I played 1 round by myself, and then I said, stop. You can't. You can't let this be a game that you play on a regular basis without kids around, or else you will be flagged as a pedophile and arrested, because that's all the grown-ups on Roblox. So
yeah, I think a couple of them have been caught doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I was just very surprised because everything I've ever seen on that platform looks like the world's shittiest Minecraft characters doing the world's shittiest, like, stupidest games with the worst art imaginable, and everything's broken and shitty. But I was very surprised that this was not. So shout out to Dandy's World.
Yeah, why do you think Roblox is like one of the top 3 most popular video games of all time? It's not because
kids
it's all
are just
garbage.
Fucking stupid and they love free shit.
They love it, though, but you love it too.
It turns out I do. And there were like cool mechanics where like between floors, like 1 out of every 3 floors, you have a shop that opens. Dandy, this flower is the dandelion. Dandy will sell you 1 of 3 items that are randomly generated too. But there are like little subtle things that they don't necessarily explain to you, where like if Dandy opens up shop and you see a little red light in Dandy's eyes and you don't buy anything, then the next floor Dandy will be a villain, and Dandy is like this, turns into this giant monster with a really long tail, and like as soon as it hits you, it takes away 2 of your 3 hearts. And we did a Mr. President run. There's a character named Shrimpo, and Shrimpo has really terrible stats. So I had to be Shrimpo along with my 5-year-old niece. She was also Shrimpo, and then we were both running around, and we had people as Tisha, people as Roger, and they were all like protecting us. And so you have 3 hearts, but you are so slow. You extract so slowly. You attract all the attention from all the enemies. And so avoiding them is basically impossible. So we did a Shrimpo run, and I got to level 12 as Shrimpo, which was pretty impressive. So yeah, I just had a blast. Had a good old time. Used my Backbone on my iPhone for that. Backbone, this is probably the first time that I've actually legitimately used that thing for an extended play session. That thing's pretty cool. That's it. That's all the games that I played in the last like month that we haven't been around. Adam, take me through some of your
Shrimpo runs.
Fucking Shrimpo runs. So yeah, Mr. President, you got to protect him. Yeah.
So a really funny thing. I was looking up Abs Animals because Kozi mentioned that earlier. By the way, it's by a company named Abs Incorporated. They have only made 1 video game ever, and it's Abs Animals. Here's the description. This is word for words. Abs Animals is an animal entertainment content. There is no clear or game over. Love animal, watch without operation, etc. Play around with it as you wish. Abs Animals will continue to grow with future update. That's the fucking description.
Yeah,
do not buy Abs Animals. That sounds like it's going to steal your information. Do not do that.
Legitimately been a decade since I probably last played Abs Animals, but that sounds on point. That sounds on point for Abs Animals.
Do not do that. All right. So first up,
By the way, real quick, speaking of I am the reason why I've been looking around worriedly around the basement is because it kind of smells like poo down here, but I don't see any poo.
Oh,
so I don't think cannoli has
cannoli. Leave a little cannoli
Maybe
on
I've
the
just
floor.
gotten it into my brain.
Little chocolate cannoli.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep an eye out.
Trying to fart you out of the basement like they did at the movie theater. I also played Halo Campaign Evolved. My kid played it. We only played the bonus mission so far because he's never played any of it. So we decided to run through, and I was like, let me do the new stuff. Like Chad said, yeah, it's really fun, especially in the bonus missions, just because it's like, yes, it's Halo 1, but here you can have the swords now, and you just have all the weapons. They're like, just do whatever you want, and it's gorgeous, and it plays great.
Energy swords don't one-shot an elite on heroic difficulty. I mean, I know it's heroic, but it's not legendary. Big old complaint.
Yeah, you got to hit him in the back. Hit him right in the butt.
I know. Well, you can just punch him in the back with a pistol and it kills him in one hit. But you can't take a sword to their fucking jaw and kill him in one hit?
It kills the brutes in one hit.
Come on.
It's a good time. But, I enjoy that game a lot as well. So we'll do that. What's going on, Kozi?
Adam, I have to apologize, but I need to briefly interrupt you. I went to a little website called psnprofiles.com because, like I said earlier, I'd remembered purchasing Abs Animals possibly for its trophies and solely for its trophies. So I didn't, just automatically receive it because it was on PlayStation Plus. And yeah, I can confirm right here and right now, this is definitely a game that I got exclusively for its trophies because not only do I have the PlayStation Vita version of Abs Animals, I have the PlayStation 3 version of Abs Animals, and I got all 5 trophies in the game across both consoles. Let me read to you the names of some of the trophies. Trophy number 1 is called Kawaii. Description: play for 15 seconds.
There you go. It's one of these.
You don't even do anything. Just play for 15 seconds. Trophy number 2, Charming. Play for 45 seconds. Trophy number 3,
3 times as hard.
Cute. Play for 135 seconds. They didn't even go like 2 minutes or like 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Next trophy, Lovely. Play for 225 seconds. And finally, last but not least, Pretty. Play for 315 seconds.
So leave it on for a couple minutes and get 5 trophies. Congratulations. You wasted your time and money, and they stole all your information.
My memory, again, it's been literally a decade. My memory is that it was like one of those games that costs like $1, if that. Like they thankfully did not price it particularly highly.
Pro tip when it
you
comes
can buy
to
it right
trophies
now for $9.99.
Halo.
Do I know?
If you're playing it
Halo
on
trophies?
PlayStation, every time you get a trophy, you also get a Microsoft achievement on your Xbox.
Oh, because it's a Microsoft account or whatever.
Yeah, because you have to link your Microsoft account in the beginning. So every time I got a trophy, I got a Xbox notification on my phone saying, you got an achievement.
That's crazy. But yeah, I only played the bonus missions. I'm going to wait to play the rest of that with my son whenever he's back over here. So we'll have a good time doing that. SW, Star Wars, Power Wash Simulator 2 had a Star Wars DLC. I reviewed that for GameSandwich.com. There's 6 things you get to claim from Star Wars. I mean, here's the thing. Power Wash is awesome. So it's fun to just run around and do that stuff. My only issue, and it's not an issue with the rest of the game, is that there is no music, as we talked about, because we did the first one, I think, for a barf game. And normally it doesn't bother me. You put on a podcast, and that's what the game is. Like, I'm not mad about it. But when I'm in the Star Wars universe, and there are robots bleep blorping around and everything, I'm just like, man, 30 seconds of, like, the theme would be amazing here. They just don't do it, though. They don't do it. So, I gave that a 7? I'm not going to go to GameSandwich.com, but I gave the game like a 7. It's good, but yeah, man, maybe put music when you're going to do the license stuff. I don't know. Next up, I just watched 2 movies. I've played other games. My main game that I played the last couple weeks, I've been in an online dynasty for college football. Fun, good times, playing with secret people that I can't tell you about.
Oh.
Big deal, big deal.
Mr. President, doing a Mr. running college football.
Me and Sherpo and the president playing a dynasty mode in college football. But I've watched 2 movies. Obviously, I saw Spider-Man. Spider-Man, good time. Go watch that. Don't get farted out of a theater, but it's a good time.
It is a
Me and
great
my son,
time.
He went to go see that movie with his mom at midnight. Because, by the way, if you try to go this weekend, every showing is fucking sold out, basically. Yeah. So they were just adding random showings. He went at 12:20 Saturday night, quote unquote, Sunday morning. And then we had tickets for 8 a.m. the next morning with me. So he got to see Spider-Man twice and was asleep for the second time.
It was worth adding all those showings, though. Did you see it made like $980 million in its opening weekend? That's almost $1 billion in its opening weekend.
Fucking wild. That Tom Holland, let me tell you, that guy's going to be in the highest grossing movies of the year. So yeah, that's good. Check out Spider-Man.
Hard to believe that Uncharted actor had it in him, you know?
You know what's funny though? Because they've been talking about like who's going to be the highest grossing actor of the year, and it'll be Zendaya, because Odyssey, Spider-Man, and Dune at the end of the year will probably put her at the top of that list, right?
But you don't think Anne Hathaway's going to take it away with At the End of Oak Street?
Probably not.
Because she's in that, Odyssey, and she was in Devil Wears Prada 2 this year.
Yeah.
And
John Barenthal's in 2 of those movies.
John Barenthal's in Odyssey and Spider-Man, and maybe he's in End of Oak Street as a dinosaur. I don't know.
The only one that's confused is Benny Safdie, because he's in Mario and he's in Odyssey, so maybe. But I think Tom Holland or Zendaya will get it because she's in 3 big movies. But anyways, Spider-Man, go watch that. It's fun. And then the last thing is I just watched Avatar Aang, which was the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie that got leaked online. So Paramount decided we're not going to put it in theaters. We're only going to put it on Paramount Plus now. Wish they would have put that in theaters. That'd have been a fun theater watch. Good movie. You feel like Avatar? They're grown up now. They're all buff. Avatar, or fucking Aang, is so buff. He was a 10-year-old child, and now he's a buff adult man with a wife. It's crazy. But no, that's a fun movie.
What does she bend other than his cock?
Who does who bend?
His wife.
Katara bends water. She's a waterbender, and she bends his cock, apparently. To Chad. By the way, I mean, it's funny because when you watch Korra, because like at that point, they're older or dead, everyone from the original series, they have 3 kids. They were getting it on. Yeah, they were fucking serious. Yeah.
Is Ayakon the mighty Tulkun in this movie?
No. Don't know who that is.
Yeah. He's the whale from Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
Oh, yeah, that fucking whale, dude. Oh, my God. All he does is fucking...
He was so intelligent. He's more intelligent than humans, according to that movie.
Remember how he came back in 3 fucking 7 years later?
Yeah,
and he's
if he
a
was
big
so
plot point
intelligent,
of
he
a
wouldn't have
movie.
gotten himself in the same fucking situation in number 3.
Yeah, exactly. Stupid idiot. But no, those movies are fun. Go watch them. That's it for me.
Kozi Michael Bear.
Oh boy. So here's the thing. This is a mini choose your own adventure game. I'm breaking down. The Kozi.exe has slowly stopped working because I've had too much sangria. No, I'm okay. I'm good. We're good. Today is a choose your own adventure, but it's a very simple choose your own adventure because you have one of 2 options, and I'll loop back around to the other option after we go through the first option. Option number 1, I can talk to you about a mobile game that completely took over my life, and I had to climb back from the brink in order to save my life from it. Option number 2, I talk about some of the games I've been playing from my local library.
I mean, you sold one of those a lot harder than you sold the other one. You gotta know
let's talk about
like took you to the brink of death.
Let's talk about a little game called Pokemon Champions. Now, here's the thing.
Oh, yeah. I've seen you playing that.
If you listen to Samson XP's podcast, Grow Up, Level Up, you'll know that I actually went on that podcast to talk a little bit about this particular game. This is a game that originally launched on the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 back in April, and then came to mobile a couple of months later. I'd been primed to get seriously back into Pokemon last year after really heavily getting into Pokemon Legends ZA and really loving that game. And concurrently to really getting into that particular game, I'd also fallen down a rabbit hole of watching just a ton of like competitive breakdown videos from this individual called Wolf Glick, who's like a mainstay of like the kind of competitive Pokemon scene. He's been like a world champion multiple times over, knows competitive Pokemon like the back of his head.
Any relation to the SNL Martin Short character Jiminy Glick?
I do not believe that there is any relationship there. And if there is, he's never talked about it on his videos. All of that primed me to really, really get invested in this game, but not to the extent that I thought that I would get invested. Downloaded this game the day after it came out on the Switch 2. And I am not joking. I was obsessed, addicted to this game like literally no game ever before. This was the ultimate example of, I'll just log in and like do a couple more battles. I'll do like 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour. It's 6 a.m. and I haven't gone to bed yet.
Like, I feel like every night I would get onto my Switch. I forget what I was playing at the time, but I would get on my Switch and it was Kozibear's online playing Pokemon Champions. I was like, damn, that guy's playing every night. Well, I was too, but...
it got so bad that I installed the parental controls app for the Switch 2 on my mobile phone, and it worked somewhat, but then inevitably, like, because I had control of the parental controls app, I could just go in and give myself more time and more time. There were periods of time where I straight up took my Switch 2 and the game wasn't yet on mobile, so this is the only means that I had of playing it. And like, I put the Switch 2 in like a shoebox and taped up the shoebox, and I was like, I gotta just keep this game away from me because I am not being productive enough in all other aspects of life. Worth pointing out, this game came out around the exact same time that the rest of my family went on a trip to Italy. So it's just myself home alone with the dog and the cat. And the dog and the cat obviously required some attention. So like, I still had to make a point of, making sure that they were properly cared for. But outside of those two beating hearts in my home, I basically had no obligations. And so like, it was the worst possible scenario for me to get hopelessly addicted to this game. I ended up logging like over maybe two. I didn't check ahead of time because I didn't want to be too embarrassed, but it was definitely like well over 250 hours in the Switch 2 version of the game. And then when it came to mobile, I didn't log as many hours into the mobile version, but I definitely played quite a lot of it there. Eventually,
were you ever like in previous Pokemon games or anything like? Were you ever a competitive like player?
So,
was that something that interested you, or is this the first time that it's hooked you?
The long and short of it is, I got into competitive Pokemon literally 10 years ago in 2016. The kind of competitive season that was centered around Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, for whatever reason, I guess it was sort of a culmination thing where like I had dabbled in competitive Pokemon a little bit here and there with prior games. And with that particular season, I was like, you know what? I really want to try my hand at it. And so I actually like went in person to a lot of competitive, like in-person Pokemon tournaments at the time. I remember on one occasion, I actually went to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which normally is Amish country. If you're traveling to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, it's to have some shoe fly pie and see the Amish. But on that particular occasion, I went to Lancaster, Pennsylvania to play Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in a tournament I don't feel like I did particularly well in, but it was fine at the time. Did that for a couple of years, and then in early 2018, I kind of got a little bit fatigued, and so I decided, you know what, I think I've had enough of this. I'm gonna take a break from competitive Pokemon. We'll see if I can ever get back into it. That was actually like, and I talked about this a lot on Samson's podcast. If you want to hear me go even more in depth into Pokemon Champions, definitely go and check that episode out. In a way, like my prior competitive history was kind of key to me really like getting my teeth hooked into this particular game, because the thing about Pokemon Champions, it doesn't do a very good job of tutorializing competitive Pokemon. Its tutorials are like super duper bare bones. If you're coming into this game with like no knowledge of how to play Pokemon at all, let alone competitive Pokemon, you're going to be really lost. But I kind of came in like as like the ultimate like case study of like the kind of person that would get super duper addicted to this game, because I already had a sort of strong like foundation base of like generally how the competitive Pokemon game was played. The things that I was not familiar with were like, some of the new Pokemon, some of these slightly new mechanics that they had added to the game in the years since I had stopped playing the competitive side of things. And so it was great because like I didn't have to eat any of the vegetables. I didn't have to deal with the nitty gritty of understanding how competitive Pokemon was played, but I still got to enjoy the desserts of discovering new Pokemon and slightly new mechanics that I was not yet familiar with, that I found very pleasing to discover and experiment with. And so, yeah, that was, I really fell down a black hole with that game for a little while. And in the end, what kind of broke me out of its spell was something that was immensely disappointing in the moment, but ended up being kind of a blessing in disguise, which is I ended up going to 2 like IRL Pokemon VGC tournaments. My first 2 since I had quit the competitive scene in 2018. First tournament did okay, like equal win-loss rate. Second tournament did pretty poorly, 2 wins, 4 losses. But coming out of the tournament, it sort of unlocked this thing in my brain where I was like, you know what? I've been playing this game day and night thinking that I'm hot shit. And this tournament kind of handed me a slice of humble pie. It showed me that I am not the very best that there ever was, but that is actually great because it means that now I'm free. I don't need to worry about constantly logging hours upon hours upon hours into this game 24/7, thinking that I got to stay at the top of the leaderboards. I'm not that good of a player. So that means I don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. And that ever since that particular point in time, I was able to kind of claw my way back from the game. And I have actually not played it in quite a few weeks at this point. I'm sure that I will go back to it at some point. I'm sure I'll give it another shot because these things are often hard to break, but I am no longer at the brink like I once was.
Proud of you. Doesn't that feel
Thank
so
you.
good when you finally like, I don't have to care about this thing anymore. I don't have to do this thing anymore. Even if it was something you enjoyed doing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Should I talk about my library games?
If we can keep it, we're already almost at an hour. If you can keep it to a few minutes, then go for it.
I got a dozen games, but I will speed run through all of them. I can assure you of that.
Go for it.
All right. So, as you all know, a couple of months ago, we played Returnal as part of Barf. And initially, when we played that game, I had thought to myself, well, for sure, Returnal, a pretty recent PS5 game, for sure, I'm going to have to buy this game off the PSN store or get a physical copy because we still live in a world where you can get physical copies. In fact, I discovered, I can actually rent this game from my local library. Well, that's awesome. I'll do exactly that. Did that, beat the game, platinum the game, beat the Tower Ascension mode, whatever it was called. And that introduced me to the fact that, hey, your local library system up here in Montreal, Canada, Kozi, has all sorts of games from your backlog that you've been meaning to check out for quite some time. And so over the past few months, I have extensively taken advantage of my local libraries to play a ton of games such as Katamari Damacy Reroll, which is the HD remake of the original Katamari. This was the reason why I played this game in particular is because I actually recently joined a Discord community of like-minded video game developers here in the Montreal area, and they were actually doing a monthly video game book club called Backloggers, and said, you know what? Love video game book clubs. I've done it many times in the past with Respawning Fire. What if I took part in this as well? First game they were covering was Katamari Damacy Reroll. I was like, hey, sounds like a great time. Bought this game, rented this game, played this game. What a great game. Loved Katamari Damacy Reroll. There was an initial period of frustration where I hadn't fully wrapped my head, hadn't fully rolled my head, as it were, around exactly how to make use of its controls. But once everything clicked in place, it really clicked in place. The game's like fantastic kind of cubist art style, amazing soundtrack, interesting level design that culminates in a really great, fantastic final level, just wacky, zany humor that lampoons Japanese culture in a really psychedelic fashion. All that was really awesome. Next game I played, Devil May Cry HD. This is another game that was covered as part of Backloggers, the, again, in-person video game book club thing that I started taking part in. This one was a weird one. There's been a lot of rumor mongering over the past few years about Capcom potentially producing a Devil May Cry 1 remake that ends up being real. I'd definitely be interested in checking that out, but don't know that I would ever replay the original game. This game, of course, directed by Hideki Kamiya. It was, in its original incarnation, going to be what would eventually become Resident Evil 4. Dante was supposed to be a Resident Evil protagonist called Tony Redgrave, and it was supposed to take entirely within the sinister world of Resident Evil. Got shifted to being its own game partway through development because they just deemed it would be a poor Resident Evil game. And it's that transition that kind of suffuses through the entire game. It feels like it still has one foot in the Resident Evil pond and then another foot in the pond of like the style of action game that DMC would kind of go on to spearhead. The combat mechanics are pretty great. Boss encounters, there's some annoying difficulty spikes, but all that stuff is pretty plumb and pretty fine. But the game just has a lot of puzzling moments, a lot of backtracking that, again, is very reminiscent of Resident Evil. Makes sense because it was originally a Resident Evil game, but that ultimately just kind of feels out of place in this game, kind of feels very kind of retrograde in retrospect. I found myself just throughout the entire game being like, man, I love where this genre of game ended up with God of War, which obviously was a franchise that borrowed very heavily from Devil May Cry. Don't really love exactly where it started, but you had to start somewhere. After playing Devil May Cry 1 HD, play Devil May Cry 2 HD. Devil May Cry 2 HD. Devil May Cry 2. Sorry, short-circuiting. This game was not very good. I don't have too much to say about this game. Devil May Cry 3 HD was next. This game was a great time. Dramatically improved over DMC 2. Still don't necessarily love the DMC games over the old school God of War games, but this was a really great time. Just a really satisfying action romp. Fantastic cutscenes. Play DMC 3 if you've never done so. After that, sorry, I need to take a breath because I realized I'm speaking at a mile a minute. After that, played We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie. This is the HD remaster of the second Katamari game, and also the only other Katamari game directed by Keita Takahashi, who is the director and creator of the original Katamari. We Love Katamari, in many ways, is an improvement over the original. Better graphics, the level objectives are more varied, level variety itself in terms of the locations explored is far grander, and there is a far greater level of character customization compared to the first one. Playing through this game, though, I was kind of hit with the sad realization that its core gameplay was just not that dramatically different from the original. The original Katamari's gameplay was like such a lightning in the bottle experience, such a revelation, such a unique game that was truly, unlike anything else I had played before. And We Love Katamari, in a lot of ways, was a much better of a game, but it doesn't really have anything that really comes close to capturing that sense of newness, that sense of uniqueness that the original had. Still a great game, but I did walk away from it being like, it's hard in this particular franchise's case to replicate that feel of the original. Next game, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. All the news about Persona 4 Revival, which is the upcoming remake of Persona 4, that came out of Summer Game Fest got me really, really excited for it, which in turn got me really excited to go back and play more Persona side games that I'd previously missed out on / never got a chance to play back in the day during my initial fandom for the franchise. And so I kind of looked around and I realized, oh, wait a minute, my local library has BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. For those unaware, this is a crossover fighting game from Arc System Works, primarily between the BlazBlue franchise, the Under Night In-Birth franchise, Ruby, which is the Rooster Teeth animated franchise, and Persona 4 Arena. I'm not great at these style of fighting games, and this didn't really change that. The mechanics felt very fine, but I wasn't able to really get in the groove. I mainly came to this game for its story mode, which brings together all of these various games fighters for a big, story crazy jamboree, and I thought it was all right. I had previously played and really enjoyed the Persona 4 Arena game story modes from back in the day. I thought that they did a great job of advancing the status quo of the Persona universe and featured a lot of interesting story paths and placed a spotlight on a lot of interesting and different characters. This game's story mode was just a lot weaker by comparison. It was great to hear the Persona 4 cast back together again in their final time together in such a capacity. I don't think the original cast of Persona 4 ever reprised their roles after this particular game. The story itself was fine, was really lacking in a lot of, again, branching narrative paths, a lot of the uniqueness of the Persona 4 Arena games. Don't have too much else to say. Got just a few more games. Persona. Not Persona. Star Wars Jedi Survivaler.
Ooh, Survivaler. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm realizing right now that my glasses are getting super fogged up from how fast I'm speaking on camera. I played the first Star Wars Jedi game when it came out back in 2019, and I really enjoyed it. I was deterred from getting Survivor when it released in 2023 because there were a lot of technical issues at launch, but I'd been meaning to get back to it at some point. I really enjoyed my time at Survivor, but have kind of complicated feelings about it. I think the final act of this game has some truly fantastic, excellent set pieces and great story and character moments, but I felt like the process of getting to a lot of those sequences at the end of the game was a little winding and sometimes boring. Bode, who's a new character, kind of like a roguish Han Solo type that the game introduces. If you had asked me halfway through the game what I thought about Bode, I would have said that Bode was a mistake. I would have said that Bode is a Han Solo type with no riz. By the end of the game completely redeems him. The game
imbues Bode with the just narrative qualities that I wanted out of him. I think he made him into such a more interesting character by the end of the game, but I just found it to be so boring leading up to a lot of those final hours. There's a lot that I have to say about this particular one, but I'll just sort of keep it at that. I played A Space for the Unbound. A 2D pixel art adventure game developed by Mojiken Studio and published by Toge Productions, which you may know from the Coffee Talk games. You play as Atma, who is a high school senior that has to solve a series of supernatural mysteries in an Indonesian town in the late 90s. I really love this one. Great puzzles that feel really well balanced, never got overly difficult, in a very strong, occasionally harrowing, but ultimately very heartfelt story that delves into some really unexpectedly tough subject matter. Great pixel art as well, and also just a really, honestly, evocative recreation of late 90s Indonesia, which the developers of the game were very kind of keen to try to recreate in like a really kind of idealistic fashion. Game's combat system, which is kind of like an approximation of button mashing Street Fighter combos, is functional and decent, but not that deep. Probably my only real complaint with the game. Other than that, highly recommended if you've never played it before. A Space for the Unbound. And finally, I've only logged 1 hour into it. Only a single hour. But I have started to play Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I was motivated to play this game because not too long ago, there was a YouTube video from a YouTuber called The Kempi that came out called Uncovering Amy Hennig's Uncharted 4, which basically is like an hour and a half long documentary that goes deep into what we know about the version of Uncharted 4 that was in production that ultimately got scrapped when Amy Hennig left Naughty Dog back in the day. That documentary got me just really motivated, really back into an Uncharted-y mood. And so I figured, you know what? Never beat The Lost Legacy. Let's check it out. I'm only about an hour into the game so far, and I can say that it is definitely an Uncharted game. And I don't have too much else to say.
You know you got inspired by Adam. You know you saw Adam streaming that on Twitch 3 weeks ago, and you said,
Was he?
I want to be just like him.
I might have missed that, but yeah, I'm excited to play more of that game. Oh, and independently of my library adventures, I also played and beat Star Fox 64 for the first time. Thought it was decent. Looking forward to playing the 2026 remake at some point. And
did you play
is
it on a Nintendo 64, or did you play it on your 3DS?
No
or
comment.
On the Switch Virtual Console. Oh, you would allegedly play the game. Gotcha. Well, kids, we need to rush these things, get you out of here. Also, welcome all you game Sammies, all you hammies and bammies. We just actually brought up Game Sandwich earlier because Adam reviewed. Oh shoot, I forgot what game he reviewed. What did you review?
What's up,
Wash.
Game Sandwich?
Oh yeah. Power Wash, the new Star Wars DLC over at GameSandwich.com. What's up? We've got, speaking of Adam, we've got what song should we do? Segment from Adam, yeah. This is a segment from Adam. We're gonna look at some scores. Segment from Adam, who's a whore. It's not Adam, he's not a whore. There you go, segment from Adam.
Or maybe I am. Who knows?
Maybe.
I like to have fun.
I don't judge.
This week we're doing Meta Madness. We're just going to go the best reviewed games of July. Number 1, Doom: The Dark Ages Revelations, which is the DLC, was a 90 on Metacritic. Number 1 game of the month. Number 2, Dench Attack at an 88, which is Jet Set Radio Future, but you're a train. Everyone seemed to enjoy that video game. Next up was The Mermaid Mask at an 85.
You're making up half of these.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Resynced at an 84, another game I reviewed for Game Sandwich. Pal World 1.0 at an 83 over on Metacritic. Rhythm Heaven Groove at an 82 there. It's got rhythm in the name, Chad. You might like it. Splatoon Raiders at an 82. And Halo Campaign Evolved at an 80. Those are the games above an 80 on Metacritic for the month. So there looks like a couple of good options here for Game of the Year stuff. I'm not shocked, but man, I really do need to go play that Doom: The Dark Ages DLC because I love Doom: The Dark Ages. So that will be
getting a 90. That's wild.
Very good.
Rhythm Heaven Groove was one of those that, like, I've never played a Rhythm Heaven game, but watching the direct where they showed it off, I was like, that looks like it could be fun. I might give that a shot. And then I listened to the Kind of Funny review of it, and they gave it like a 4 out of 10. I was like, oh shit. Nope, not for me.
Which game?
Rhythm Heaven Groove.
Oh, Rhythm Heaven. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never played any of those games.
You gonna go splat on some people, Chad? You want to do that one?
No, I don't splat. Not anymore. Not since the accident.
Oh, Lord. All right, so really quickly, we're going to go to our fantasy critic for the year where we draft some of these games and they go over there. I'm just going to go over what has come out this month and what has been ranked.
All right.
So as far as the month of July, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced was on Adam's team, which is Favre Dollar Footlongs, which got me 14 points over there, had an 84. I believe that is it for the month of July. I have a total of 102. Excuse me, I'm a 102 over there. I'm currently in the lead. Next up is Joel. He didn't have any games come out. He also has not drafted a game or got a counter pick since we started this thing. So Joel, maybe get on that at some point or don't. Next up is Chad with his team Ruffle Gimpskin. His games that came out in the month of July. I think you had one. No, you did not have anything come out. But Chad is sitting at 74 total points. Counter pick of Duskbloods. And then Kozi, he's finally here to talk about it. Kozi's team, Bold Standard Games, had, I believe you had one. You had Campaign Evolved, which got an 82 over here on OpenCritic, so that got him 12 points. And Beast of Reincarnation, which has a score of 76, but is not points yet, because I guess reviews are still coming in. So Kozi is at 76 points, Chad's at 74, Joel's at 39, I'm at 102. So, and only a couple games came out for the month of July that scored on people's lists. So,
a couple of months ago, when I announced that I was going on sabbatical from the podcast, I just decided, you know what? I don't know when I'm going to be back on the podcast next. I don't know when I'm going to next remember to do so. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to fill out the rest of my drafts all at once right now. And so I miss out on the opportunity to draft some of the games that were announced around SGF time. But I do have one free slot at the bottom because I dropped something.
Gears away from you.
What was it? Was it Gears?
Somebody bid on Gears and I took it from him. It was either Chad said it wasn't him and it definitely wasn't Joel. So I'm guessing it was you. Somebody did. I don't know.
Because it was something else. Anyways, I have a free spot available, so I'm going to try to figure out what to fill that with at some point.
There you go. It's between
free
you and
spot
Chad.
To fill. That was my nickname in high school.
Nice. Love to see it.
That brings us to Game On Game Show. The Game On Game Show, we play a game called Game On, the Gaming Show on our Game Show. Game. First, a prequel to the game. Little returning favorite. Kozi, what's this?
I mean, that right there has to be an onigiri, which is, of course, a Japanese rice ball that has been painted entirely black.
Good guess, but no, it is a Squirtle Squad head.
Whoa!
Look at that. Look at that Squirtle Squad. I am printing a 3-foot tall Squirtle Squad Squirtle figure. I've got all the pieces except for the brown part of the shell. This is a little hand that goes on the side. He's like, yeah, I'm cool. And this is another little hand. It's up in the air. It's like, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I got a bunch of pieces over there. So yeah. I printed a little sign out there also that says, welcome to the squad on your way into my house. It's going to be great.
I feel like that's going to be bigger than the actual size of a Squirtle if you were to import it into real life.
I don't know. I've caught a lot of Squirtle on Pokemon Go, and it says some of them are huge.
Okay.
We are getting into our actual game, which is something that we are a month late on. We're pregnant. We have to do. Well, pregnant is a possibility in this game. It's Marry, Fuck, Kill 2026 Part 2. Once every 6 months in January and in July, we usually will go through all the games that are coming out in the next 6 months and decide which ones we want to marry, which ones we want to fuck, and which ones we want to kill. There are no value judgments on any of these. The ones that win are not necessarily the ones that we want to play the most. It's just fun to do. It's also not a representation of every game coming out. It's just a bunch that seem to be grouped together well. So if your favorite game didn't get in here and to get fucked, then I'm sorry. Go listen to another podcast that talks about fucking games. All right, so I've got 18 games here. We're going to do this a little bit quick style. We're going to do Marry, Fuck, Kill for 6 trios, and then we're going to do the final Marry, the final Fuck, the final Kill out of 6, rather than further narrowing it down. So I've grouped these in groupings here. The first one is the Disney Hour. These are all Disney games that are coming. God, that's so much more fun to say. That I typed it out thinking it was going to be fun to say. Now that I'm saying it, it is Disney Hour. That's fun to say. Yeah, Disney games that are coming out that are maybe some unique genres that we don't normally see from a lot of Disney games. First one being Star Wars Galactic Racer, Star Wars Zero Company, and Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls. Who do we want to marry? Who do we want to fuck? Who do we want to kill out of those 3 games?
Interesting. I want to go ahead and say I want to kill Tokon Fighting Souls. There's just some designs in that game that I'm a fan of. I think that game will probably be really... I mean, again, this has nothing to do with the value proposition of the game or whatever,
Right.
but the Iron Man is ugly. I do not want anything to do with the way that Iron Man looks.
I actually can't remember how any of them look, but I just assumed that, it's a Marvel stylized game,
No,
so
they
they're all
look
going to be sexy
they look
like
weirdly.
Rivals.
Some of them, no, they're not sexy. They have
Okay.
their own specific style, and some of them look like shit.
I downloaded the beta for this game a couple of weeks ago to play it with my group that normally plays friend slot games, and then they all collectively decided that they were still angry at Sony and their decision to reverse course on physical games, and they didn't want to support a major Sony first/third-party release, so they didn't want to play it, and so I never got a chance to play it. So yeah, we'll kill it.
I'm gonna propose that we marry Star Wars Galactic Racer because that retro futuristic style where it's like, hey, we're in the future, but also everything's kind of junky and it's kind of like retro, weird buttons and analog in some ways. It's like you feel like you can fix the person over time. It's a good project person to marry and just like continue their work to make them better and better, especially after each race. You got to tune them up, maybe wreck, and you got to fix it. Like it's a good ongoing commitment. So I'm going to propose
Also, Sebulba's there, so that's
Sebulba. Who doesn't want to marry and be with Sebulba?
Here's the thing
rest of
about
your life?
Sebulba. Sebulba, in the original canon, I don't know if this is true since Disney took over, had a couple of sex slaves. So we need to show him that marriage is another valid way to love someone. We need to, change his ways. So yeah, let's marry.
By default, we
have-
are a fucking Zero Company.
I'm all about it. I'll give that thing a full fun weekend, baby. I'm here for it.
I honestly don't even know. Is Zero Company, are they... Is that
XCOM.
is this squad? I mean, are there people? Is it robots?
Yeah.
Droids? I
No,
don't even know.
you have characters, different characters.
Okay.
By the way, Chad, in our Video Ninja thing, I put a Eurogamer article just because the first picture on there is Iron Man, and he is ugly in this video game.
Hold, please. Let me click. Eurogamer. Purchase ad subscription. No. More options. Do not sell. Turn off performance cookies. Ziff Davis. Get the fuck out of here, Ziff. Let me refresh this page. Nope, I'm trapped. I can't click on it anymore. Well, I trust you that he's ugly. All right, number 2. Same but different is the category here. These are all games that are remakes or reimaginings of previous games. We have Zelda Ocarina of Time remake, Final Fantasy Resonance, and Rayman Legends Retold.
I'm gonna propose that we kill Rayman Legends. I'm sure that game will be fine and adequate, but their particular choice to remake the game in a 3D art style feels a little bit needless. The game was plenty beautiful in its original incarnation, and it doesn't feel like the 3D version of this game is really adding anything that really like enhances and evolves the game over its original incarnation.
I'm also remembering his weird fucking hairline again, and he's like, "Oh God, Rayman
his hair.
should not have hair
his
like
hair
that." No,
moves.
I can't look at that. Kill it.
I
Game's gonna be
expect the
good.
game to be fine.
Yeah,
I expect the game to be totally good, but yeah.
All right, fucking or killing. I mean, fucking or marrying. Final Fantasy Resonance, Zelda Ocarina of Time remake.
I mean, you gotta marry Ocarina.
No, you don't.
You gotta.
No,
Yeah,
not
you do.
really.
But are you
That's
gonna
like if
marry...
you marry like the most popular girl in high school, and then she just becomes a normal person like everyone else, and she's actually not as special as everyone thinks she is. That's not as fun as you think it is.
Okay, first of all, it turns out that Zelda was Sheik the whole time, who's the most badass person. So
That's cool. I like Sheik.
Also, I was going to say, there are so many other... no, you know what? I'm not going to get it.
Chad, do you like Final Fantasy or Zelda more?
Well, here's the thing. It's a mobile Final Fantasy game.
It doesn't
that's
matter.
coming to
You put it
life
on the
again,
list.
So I don't know. I do. I like Zelda Ocarina
It
of Time
is
more
worth
than I
pointing
like
out.
Final Fantasy.
I'm not
well,
going to
then marry it.
vouch that strongly for Final Fantasy. It is worth pointing out that this is a very similar situation to the last Octopath Traveler game we got, where that game, what was it, Octopath Traveler
Zero.
Origins? Zero, was also originally a mobile game that then got remade into a proper console game, and everyone really loved Zero. So there is reason to be excited about this Final Fantasy game, but my vote is still with Zelda.
Well, yeah, we don't know. We don't know yet. So maybe we'll just like dip dick in that one once, and as a like,
there we go.
We'll try this. But we know with Zelda Ocarina of Time, we know that's gonna be good. We're gonna marry that. We're gonna stay with that forever. All right, so we're killing Rayman, marrying Zelda, fucking Final Fantasy Resonance. All right, this one is better this time, I promise. Most of these are second shots at a game from a studio, like sequels. We've got Kena, Scars of Cosmora, Minecraft Dungeons 2, and Control Resonant.
Ooh. Control's either marry or fuck, for sure. It just depends where the other one goes then at that point.
I mean, I feel like they recently, it might have been today that they put out that it would take 30 to 50 hours to complete Controlled Resonance. So I feel like you kind of got to marry that by default if you're getting in bed with that one.
I feel like that one's just that's going to fuck you up in the brain if you're with that, with the resonance and the hiss and all that shit.
Welcome to marriage, Chad.
What are the other two ones?
It's Kena and
Scars
what's
of
the other one?
Cosmora and Minecraft Dungeons 2.
It doesn't matter to me either way. I just don't think that Kane's coming out. That doesn't mean anything, but the game's not coming out this year, just for what it's worth.
For the same reason that I hate Roblox, I want to kill Minecraft Dungeons 2 because I hate the blocky voxel.
You love Roblox. You
aesthetic.
literally have played Roblox for hours on end. I don't want to hear it. You talked about Roblox for 15 minutes.
Was polished and impressive. Roblox itself is a horse trash.
I bet.
I don't know what a horse trash is, but it's that. So I want to kill Minecraft Dungeons 2. Any objections?
I guess.
Go for it.
All right. So then we got to either marry Kena, who's a tiny child, or fuck Kena. Which one's worse? Or
both troublesome.
Control Resonant.
I think you just fuck Kena because they're not gonna ever answer your calls or respond. Hey, aren't you coming over this weekend? Yeah, and then it's 2027, you know? So you just gotta fuck it and then move on.
Very meta. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm done with that. All right.
Yeah.
Number 4. As seen on TV. These are all games that have a movie or TV counterpart. We have Marvel's Wolverine, Silent Hill Townfall, and Halloween the Game.
Gotta fuck Halloween. Because that will only be a weekend, but it's going to be a fun-ass weekend. And then I'll never think about Halloween again. That is going to be a fun-ass
weekend.
That is true.
Both Halloween and Wolverine have the problem that, like, they're immortal. So you can't really kill either of them.
Well, evil dies tonight. You know, that's what they said for 4 movies. So maybe it will.
I mean, Adam's logic is sound. I played Killer Clowns for like a night. Didn't play
Remember
it
when we played that all together?
That?
And that was like legitimately, it was like, oh, yeah, if we all play this together, maybe it's a good time. And then we never played it again. Yeah.
That's what a fuck is, you know? Maybe it's just fun.
There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, Halloween goes there, and then it was Wolverine, and then
Wolverine and Silent Hill Townfall.
I guess you gotta kill Silent Hill. I also don't like to be jump scared. Yeah. And that's first person horror. No thank you.
Yeah, doing that for the rest of your life? All right. Kill Silent Hill Townfall. Marry Marvel's Wolverine, fuck Halloween the Game.
In this scenario, am I allowed to gender swap Wolverine with a gender swap version of Wolverine?
No, it has to be that digital man.
It has to be while he's smoking a cigar.
Maybe I can convince Jean Grey to let us into like a throuple situation.
Every thrust is going to be bub, 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 bub. All right. Number 5, this is the Stained Collection. Named this way because it's been a while since the last entry in that franchise. We've got Gears of War E-Day, Grand Theft Auto 6, and Castlevania Belmont's Curse.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Those are 3 games I'm all very interested to play.
Right?
That's a tough one. What was the
GTA
second one?
6 I feel like has to be I feel like I want to fuck GTA 6 because that's gonna be a story. That's gonna, you don't want to be in Florida for too long, but you want to go there and be like, listen, I fucked this meth head who was like running around, had a crocodile as a backpack, a live crocodile as a backpack.
I will say of all 3 of those games, we know GTA 6 has fat asses in it, so you gotta.
That's true.
You've got to, man. What are we doing here? But then what's the other one? Castlevania. What's the other one?
Castlevania and Gears of War E-Day.
Oh, that's tough. Oh, those both games are gonna be good. It's up to y'all. I'll let you guys pick. Because I would marry all three of these, so it is what it is. I'd move to Utah to hang out with these video games. You know what I'm saying? Because they're Mormon.
I'm going to say we kill Gears of War E-Day. Because it's a prequel, and we just know how that all ends, and we know that it's just like, the world fucking goes to shit. And if I have to be involved in that for the rest of my life, not a fan.
Yeah, that's fair.
And think about it, when you get married to Castlevania, every 100 years you're gonna have to fucking fight Dracula again, but it's always fun.
Right? Yeah. Guys, we're killing Gears of War, fucking GTA, marrying Castlevania. The last one, Passive Aggressive, is this one, and these are all games that have a something of something in it because it's passive voice. Silksong, Sea of Sorrow, Blood of Dawnwalker, and Beast of Reincarnation. Ignore all of the things that we know about the Open Critic score for Beast of Reincarnation. Pretend we're still excited about it.
I mean, even not, unfortunately, I saw some of that stuff earlier, so I am forever tainted by it. Even if we were to hypothetically imagine a scenario where we know nothing about how people felt about Beast of Reincarnation, I feel like I would still say fuck for that game. I am a lifelong Pokemon fan. I've always, I have a history of playing a lot of the non-Pokemon games that Game Freak has made. I played Drill Dozer back on the GBA. That had a little rumble pack. I forget what the game was called, Harmonite, which was a 2.5D rhythm platforming game on the 3DS. I'm down to at least check out some of the non-Pokemon games that they've made, and this one looks to be of a very high quality.
I think I'm with you on the fuck. Game Freak games, I'm not excited because they're Game Freak. I'm usually excited because they're Pokemon. And so this one, maybe could be a good game. And it's like an arranged marriage where, they're attractive. I might like being married to you for the rest of my life, but I'm just not sure. So let's dip dick once, and then we'll figure that out later. So I'm down for a Beast of Reincarnation.
What are the other two?
Silksong, Sea of Sorrow, and Blood of Dawnwalker.
I feel like I'm gonna lose on this one. I'm instinctively, based on everything that has been discussed about it, I would marry Blood of Dawnwalker.
Me too.
I'm really super intrigued by that game.
I'd rather marry a vampire than a bug.
Vampires, they can look attractive and entice you and do the whole siren thing and suck you in and suck your blood. And Silksong is about a bunch of bugs. Nobody wants to marry bugs.
Yeah,
I'm not married to bugs.
Silksong takes place in a haunted kingdom. It's already dead.
Yeah.
It's already haunted by the ghosts.
All right, so now we have
past.
6 games from each category that we have to kill. 6 games we have to kill. 6 games we have to fuck. We have to pick one. Kozi's Sangria is getting to me. We have to pick one from each marry, fuck, and kill. So we'll start with marry. We've chosen Star Wars Galactic Racer, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Control Resonant, Marvel's Wolverine, Castlevania Belmont's Curse, and Blood of Dawnwalker. Which of those 6 is going to be our final marry for the second half of 2026?
I'm going to marry a vampire. I'm going to say Castlevania.
Ooh, I was going to say the other vampire, Blood of Dawnwalker.
I was about to say, that's wild that we chose to marry 2 vampires.
It's vampire year, hot year. What are you thinking, Chad?
Damn. Well, so we're going with vampire, whether it's Castlevania or it's Blood of Dawnwalker, and it's neither of these necessarily have a proven track record of being there are a lot of good Castlevania games, but there are a lot of bad ones. But Blood of Dawnwalker it's a new studio, right? That's their first game that they've made.
Yeah, people from CD Projekt Red, but it's a new studio. Yeah.
Marriage has its ups and downs, and you got to be with it for the whole thing. So let's go with Castlevania. Let's marry Castlevania.
Don't.
Castlevania Belmont's Curse is the 2026 Part 2 marry game. All right, now we have to choose which one that we want to fuck. We have Star Wars Zero Company, Final Fantasy Resonance, Kena Scars of Cosmora, Halloween the Game, GTA 6, and Beast of Reincarnation.
It's either Halloween or GTA for me, buddy. One of those two. Either because of the asses or because of the fun weekend. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Star Wars Zero Company. Kena's a child. Final Fantasy Resonance, a mobile game, I
was going to go with Beasts of Reincarnation, but I can go with either of those two as well.
Depends what Chad's vote is. What are you thinking?
What's your... we talked about Halloween being just like a fun weekend. What was the other one? GTA 6?
Because they have fat asses.
I
Or
can't...
Kozi says
don't
Part
forget
of my
about the
brand,
beast,
I
Chad.
can't be associated with promoting Grand Theft Auto games. I have to always hate them and just have
Yeah,
no
because they
interest
need your
in them.
help. They need your
Right.
help because they
Yeah.
can't sell unless
So-
Chad likes it.
I'm going to go Halloween.
Chad,
Halloween?
you don't want to do any bestiality? Don't want to...
When you put it like that, it makes it
Like
even
that.
worse.
All right, finally, who are we killing? We have Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. We have Rayman Legends Retold, Minecraft Dungeons 2, Silent Hill Townfall, Gears of War E-Day, and Silksong Sea of Sorrow.
What's the thought here?
Can you repeat the first three again? Because I
Marvel
wouldn't kill
Tokon Fighting
E-Day.
Souls,
Yeah.
Rayman Legends Retold, Minecraft Dungeons 2, Silent Hill Townfall, Gears of War E-Day, Silksong Sea of Sorrow. I gotta be honest, that I can't get that Rayman hair out of my head. I just want to
Honestly,
kill it.
it's not the hair for me, but again, just because it feels like a bit of a needless remake that's not really proving its reason for existence, I'm going to go with Rayman as well.
You okay with that, Adam?
Yep, there you go.
All right, folks. For the second half of 2026, we have chosen to marry Castlevania Belmont's Curse, fuck Halloween the game, and kill Rayman Legends Retold. Check back in January when we talk about 2027 and what's on the horizon there. That's it for Game On Game Show. That is it for episode 441 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We have some homework for you. The first one is go check out GameSandwich.com. We got some fun reviews on there, some fun things to go check out. Go check out, is the tier list back? What's next on the tier
Oh,
list?
yeah. There was the latest episode was Jerica, Kayla, and Patrick from Drop In, Drop Out / JK Games. And we did they all picked two of their own secret tier list, and the other two had to guess. And whoever could guess the best won the game. That was a good time.
Ooh, that sounds like a good old time. Go check that out. And then finally, Respawn Aim Fire's Patreon over at patreon.com/RespawnAimFire. You get to, what do you get? You get the free or limited access early Patreon exclusive episode of something which we'll be recording for August very shortly, soon, sometime in the next week or so, as well as our barf game. Oh, we never even mentioned this. Our barf game for August is Sekiro. Play Sekiro. And then Alex.
Is it? Well, actually, I wanted to ask exactly about Sekiro, because I went on the Patreon just a moment ago, and I saw that the poll that decided that Sekiro would be your next barf game, it said that it was for July?
Yeah, we made it a
Or-
2-monther. It's a 2-monther.
Gotcha.
Mostly because I was on
Gotcha.
vacation and I hadn't played it yet in July, and also it's a longer game, and
Gotcha. I was going to propose, as you know, back in the day, it would rotate between the four of us as to who would choose what games we would put up in the barf polls. Next barf poll, I definitely want to come back and offer up some suggestions. I'll definitely take part in that.
which
Sekiro,
is a
we'll see.
perk of patreon.com/RespawnAimFire. So when that poll comes around at the end of August, make sure you're subscribed, and you will be able to vote on what game that is. Boom. Shaka Khan. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kozi, for joining us again. Thank you, Kozi. Is there
yeah.
anywhere you would like to shout out for folks to follow you or consume your work or anything like that?
If you want to follow me, I don't post as much there as I used to in the past, but you can find me at kozibear.bluesky.social. That's KOZIBEAR. In addition, since I was last on the show, I've been on not one, but 2 episodes of Kind of Funny Game Showdown. I've hosted 2 episodes of the show in which I've made a panel of wonderful hosts from that channel play Kozi Pretty, which is a riff on Jeopardy with a slightly modified rule set that features exclusively video game based trivia. Go and check those 2 episodes out over on the Kind of Funny Games YouTube channel. Go check them out.
Dope. And as our final, here's our usual sign off here at the end. Kozi Pretty, not to be confused with Kozi's Pretty Trophy, which was the final trophy in Abs Animals, which was play for 300 seconds in order to get this trophy.
315.
315.